Hi guys, Keith Arkenberg Farms. It is second to last week of July and it is just plain hot out here. I've been trying not to do much during the evenings, so not too terrible much going on the farm right now. So we're gonna do a farm tour, kind of show you what I got going on, or actually kind of what I don't have going on. So let me show you. So we're over here on plot number 1, which had my broccoli in it, and it had, I don't remember what else it had, but now I've got acorn squash. Got a couple good plants in here. They're starting to kick along. Not too hot on them being on the black fabric here. It actually gets really hot. So what I've done is I sprayed Surround on it to kind of give it a little bit more of a fighting chance. Over here on the white stuff, they're doing great. Also got some flowers over here, the celosias. Got some blue horizons down at the end, not doing too good. Some asters up front here, and of course my big beautiful zinnias, which they're doing great. I got some out in the U-pick I'll show you here later too. So heading over here into plot number 2, which is now the prop house. Again, pretty darn empty. I have not started my fall crops yet. I've got my leaf lettuce, which this time of year I upsized to my 100 cell flats. Makes it to where we don't have to be as diligent about the watering. I did have some worms get in here and eat on my lettuce starts. I was not too happy about that. Those are my head lettuces. But other than that, I mean, just need to clean more than anything. Got all the sides opened up all the way. Here's plot number 3. I got my awesome bunching onions going on. They're starting to look really big and beautiful. Need to weed this next succession. I have not tried to do that yet. Same thing with this succession. They're starting to kick a little bit, but I also got an experiment over here. Like, I've never been able to actually succeed this before, but I've got a whole bunch of cantaloupes and watermelons growing in here. These are all seeds that were sent to me by a relative I never knew I had in Kentucky, Ray Arkenberg. He actually saw me on either Facebook or YouTube and got a hold of me last year and sent me some seed. I never had a chance to start it. So there it is, Ray. I'll be excited to see if we get some good melons off these. The plot 4 is split in between the 2 houses right now. So we've got our beautiful tomato house, which I've got my, zoom out a little bit, all my plants leaning and lowering. I hope that kind of shows up. It's really hard to kind of get a view of it. And then our weaving all of our regular sized tomatoes, our slicers. Where? No, I just saw one. There's some there. They're not getting very big yet. Everybody's been really slow this year, but I mean, I've got, woohoo, that was a close one. Got some really nice trusses in here, which it looks like we've mainly picked off the majority of the first sets, but I mean, these are the kind of trusses I've been getting. So I mean, I'm getting 10 or 12 tomatoes per branch. Now it's just waiting for them to all start to ripen up. I've got them all good and leaned. Done my second leaning, my second drop, and then I just need to finish trimming some of these guys so they're not all wild like this. Or they're gals. I don't know. I'm not sure what tomatoes are. So the cucumber house is rocking as well. We've hit the tops of the trellises and the top of the hoops. Got the majority of the stuff off the ground harvested and good. Little bit of cucumber beetles, which I just saw fly by. And then of course down here on the ground, I never got this stuff actually trellised. So it's just gonna live on the ground. I got a single drip line running through it, so it's getting watered. That's all that really matters. We'll see. Nothing like being lazy every once in a while. And just don't have the time, so it is what it is. There's a nice looking cuke right there. There we are. Big, beautiful cucumbers. And the high tunnel is now currently under transition. So we've still got all of our kale over on our far side, which we'll keep harvesting on. The beets and the kohlrabi have basically come out of it. Got a whole bunch of parsley here that, comes to find out, nobody really likes around here. So I don't know if I'll be growing parsley again as easy as it was. I think we sold maybe 10 bunches out of the whole thing. But my celery is starting to kick, finally. We're getting actually real nice stalks coming off it, and it's super delicious. Over here is the rest of our bolted cilantro, which the market's not all that good for it, so I might or might not mess with it again next year. And some bolted heads, because the rest of the heads have been harvested out of this row. So coming out in the field, that's where the stuff is really not so planted. Got some nice basil going. I need to harvest it. It needs a good pick and it's going to flower on me. Got a good bunch of kale in here. Dill's still rocking. It's coming to the end of its life. We've got 2 beds of carrots that came out here. And then we've got another bed of carrots hidden in here. There are good carrots in here. There's just a lot of grass. This is the thing this time of year. We get a lot of grass pressure coming in. And there's nothing I've ever found to do with it except for landscape fabric, and it will consume your landscape fabric too. There's a bunch of kohlrabis in there that need taken out. And some more here. This chunk of grass here on the end, there's actually nothing in it. And then there's some more beets down here. And then more carrots with grass. So that's always fun to harvest. And we come back over to the other side up to 7. And we've got our transplants of lettuce in here. It looks like they could use a water. They just came out today and it is hot. It's like 100 degrees hot out here. I did spray all of this around to get a nice good white base on it. But this whole entire plot over here is basically this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beds of lettuce. And one of them is harvested and needs to be cropped out. So that's what I'm talking about, the lack. There's grass starting to take over up there, and we've not been able to get anything germinating because it's been so darn hot out here. So it's been very difficult. Above 90s, about mid to upper 90s to hundreds for about 3 weeks. So it just kind of put the brakes on everything. I'm gonna kick on the irrigation, then we'll go out into the big fields. So now we're out here in the big fields, where we got a lot of grass pressure as well, but what we do have here are a lot of onions in here. Just go ahead and pull one real quick so you can see it. I mean, they're what we call perfect size onions. Nice little, just almost baseball size onions. We've harvested out most of the other bed. So we've already harvested out most of the other bed over here. This one is just starting to get the tips going. Probably needs water to so dry out. And I got 4 beds of potatoes that go clear to the end of the field. They are just starting, well, basically getting eaten by the blister beetles to knock them out so I can start harvesting it. That's what blister beetles do to them. They just wipe them. And then we've got a failure row of green beans in here, which this part did not do any good. They're in there, they still haven't even flowered, and they're bush beans. And then you can see there's 2 more rows down the way, but here is something I think might be working if we ever get some rain. So I got some corn growing in here, which is nice. Haven't been able to get corn to grow in here in quite some time. And that's sweet corn, and that's Indian corn down there, and the one past it is Indian popcorn. So here is out in the U-pick area that we also pick for ourselves as well. We got a decent block of cherry tomatoes going. People always love these. Some really nice looking tomatoes coming in. Got a bunch of slicers over here. And some heirlooms and some biggers. So just waiting on them. They're being super slow right now. I think a lot of it has to do with the heat. Then we've got our kale, which I just planted out here because we have extra. Planted a bunch of okra this year just basically for the fun of it. I've gotten one pole off this whole entire bed so far, and that is it. Then we got our pepper plants, which I accidentally planted too close together. They're supposed to be on 15-inch or 18-inch centers. They're on 10. So that's why there's that gap right down there in the center, is because I ran out of plants. Over here they're correct, but these are all jalapenos, which I accidentally planted. Way too many jalapenos. And then we got some very sad looking cucumbers that need to be trellised. But it's so dry I can't get the posts in the ground. And then I can't get the irrigation underneath it because it's so dry. But here's a nice little success. Our zinnias, the Benneray Giant zinnias, are looking beautiful this year. I'm considering opening up the U-pick just to come in here and pick the flowers. Also, our coxcombs are starting to rock out. There's a couple big gigantic ones in here. I like that big giant one. I mean, look at that thing's the size of my hand. And then our zucchini, which we get to like one harvest of it, and then it dies on us every time. But there's a zucchini. Not really, they're not filling out in the tip. That's just another thing. Not super worried about it. Looks like I actually do need to do a harvest out here. Okay, so that's basically the conclusion of what's going on out in the field. And then from there, we've got our sunflower field here behind me. This half was planted first. The other half further out there, before you get to more grass right there, was planted 2 weeks later. So hopefully we should have a bigger succession of sunflowers this year. I mean, they're still rather short. They've got a ways to go. They're not even, well, they're about up to my knees now. But either way, it's been hot and we've just been kind of in transitioning period from the summer to the spring. So it is what it is. Trying not to destroy myself this year and just going all out, but we're gonna make a hard push for the winter and the fall. So I'll be ordering seeds, which anybody doing fall planting needs to do like right away, and then starting to plant out here in probably another couple weeks. So hope y'all like what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.